Hello and welcome to the 6th round of the PS4 Formula 2 Pacific Series League here in Austria for round 6 of the championship. My name is Exprit, and joining me in the commentary box for tonight's race, please welcome Curving-Texas.
Hey, how we going?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself? Oh, Jesus, already off to a bad start. Anyway. So thank you guys for joining the stream as well. Sorry I was a little bit late to start the stream, but we'll continue on. Let's have a quick look now at your driver standings before we start the race. As you can see, Toddson99 currently leads away at the moment. And we need to point out as well, Toddy is not racing tonight, so he's going to lose a bunch of points here this afternoon, especially to Spilly right behind him. So they're actually there's a little tight battle there for P2 as well between the Trident and the Dams driver of Spilly and Pure Gold. So let's see how that pans out tonight. Then Jay Schmidt will be in P4 for the Sauber team with his teammate Crossy right behind. The Gaming Wafer in P6, P7, Plebs, Breno, Iceman, Kickback Kiwi rounds out your top 10. Then it will be Dr. Dre, Toes Rudy in position 12, Zach Crine in P13 for Carlin. 14th is Big Donga for Campos, and then behind him is his teammate BK, Romy Alonso in position 16. Then it is the two MP Motorsports drivers of VSR, Roscom and Stone Tower, the Rock F1 in position 19, and James Cruz rounds out your top 20. Do you have the constructor standings there with you, Curving?
I don't actually have them on my screen. So.
No problem. So Virtuosi currently lead the way at the moment on 184, but obviously Toddy is not racing tonight, so hopefully the reserve driver that is filling in for him can get some good points here this afternoon. The Sauber team's right behind them at the moment on 171 points, and a little bit behind the front two at the moment is Dams in P3, then it is ART Trident, Prema in position 6 on 93, 1 point behind Trident, so a little tight battle there for position 5 in the constructors standings, and it's Carlin, Campos Racing, MP Motorsport in position 9, and then on the exact same points as themselves is BWT Arden in position 10 on 2 points. So let's have a quick look now to see if the drivers are heading out to qualifying. I did drop my controller, so
just loading in now. It's all sweet. We're just loading into the session now.
Yeah, so let's get your predictions real quick, Curving. Who do you reckon's going to start on pole position here this afternoon?
I'm not too certain. We heard from, I saw from Jay Schmidt before. He said that he's been disappointed with his last 2 race weekends. He's dropped back a lot in the standings. So hopefully he's back on form tonight, especially with Toddy out the way. He's going to want to make up some ground and as well as the others. So I'm going to go Jay Schmidt for pole. I'm going to go Pure Gold second and Spilly third.
Interesting. So we'll have to see. Obviously, I have no idea how anyone is going at the moment with practice, so we'll have to see how that goes. But the qualifying session is about to begin here. This determines what the grid is for the feature race that comes up first, and after that it will be the sprint race, which is obviously determined by your finishing results from the feature race, and then the top 8 are reversed. So yeah, we're just waiting for the drivers now. If you don't mind, quickly, if you want to read us a few track stats before this qualifying session begins.
Not at all. So we come here to the Red Bull Ring. Actually, we'll let these guys go on their laps first before I'll do it in between.
Alright, cool. So I'm going to try and swap up if it's going to let me bring up the spectator menu. There you go.
James Cruz leads
into turn 1. So Jimmy James, now he's dropped down a bit. So unfortunately, we were on board with him. He ran way too deep into turn 1, and unfortunately that dropped him way down. But let's go up to VSR Roscoe, who's actually at the rear at the moment. So we'll go to Jay Schmidt, who's leading as they head into turn 2. He was purple through the first sector, so he was the fastest driver. He's got Pure Gold behind him at the moment as they head down the third DRS zone available to the drivers around this racetrack. It's pretty much straight DRS brake, straight DRS brake, straight DRS brake, a lot of this track. So it's all pretty simple if you think about it. But obviously this is probably the section that is the most difficult around the Red Bull Ring. Jay Schmidt still leads the way, so he's doing a pretty good job at the moment. He has his teammate behind him. Actually, no, that's the Gaming Wafer behind him. Sorry about that. Wafer is obviously in the ART team. He now goes to fastest by the looks of it, so he's just edged a little gap there on the Sauber driver behind as they now head up to the final few corners, the penultimate corner now. Very easy to run wide there. I think we'll see a couple of drivers invalidate their times, but through the final corner now they go. Wafer is going to lead. I think he might take pole. Will he take it for the third time this season? He does. So a 14.4 here this afternoon. Gaming Wafer does go to pole position with a 1 minute 14.4. Then 2 tenths behind is XXJ Schmidt for the Sauber team on a 14.6. Then a couple more tenths behind him is Pure Gold. That rounds out your podium for the qualifying session. So a little interesting there. A couple new faces getting up into the top 3 there. Pure Gold as well. I believe that is his best qualifying result this season. Jay Schmidt up in P2 obviously had a unfortunate round at the the French Grand Prix. Same with Crossy as well. So both the Sauber drivers just had a really unfortunate round. Spilly in position 4 for Trident. Then it is the Sauber driver of Crossy, Plevs, Kickbutt Kiwi in P7, P8 Toes Rudy, P9 BKXI, and rounding out your top 10 is Breno 23 for Dams. Then it will be Dr. Dre, Stone Tail, Bodhod, Asriel? I'm not too sure how to say. AC Reali, okay. So he's in the Arden car. I believe he's a reserve driver as well, so he's filling in for someone tonight. Lunacy in P15. Roscoe Arm, James Cruz, Gold Gloves in position 18, who unfortunately both got disqualified. Did Jimmy James and Gold Gloves, so they must have unfortunately cut the track. I do apologise as well if I'm breathing into the microphone a little bit. I'm using a different mic for tonight's race, so there is no cover at the or like a suppressor on it, so it might sound a bit weird if I accidentally breathe into it, so I apologise for that in advance.
Yeah, so as I've picked up, Kickbutt Kiwi is the only Univirtuosi driver tonight, so they don't have a reserve in for tonight, so he's going to have freedom of choice when it comes to the pit stop in this first race, and strategy-wise, not having to play second fiddle as he has most of the season. But he's definitely been picking his game up recently and slowly stepping up with his teammate and getting some good results. We saw a second place last week at the French Grand Prix, so and all down to the last corner as well. So some nice battling there with, I'm pretty certain it was Pure Gold. But yeah, so going to be tight off the start here. But yeah, so here we go. Drivers off on their formation lap. I'll read out some track stats while we're going around here. So, we've got a 4.326 kilometre circuit. The track consists of 10 corners, 7 right and 3 left. So I believe that's the least corners on the calendar. Mainly because it's just a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of straights, a lot of braking, DRS. But yeah, it's a lot of action still here. A fast middle sector. 78% of the lap is full throttle. And yeah, so we see some pretty good speeds around here, and we see some nice racing. Prediction for tonight?
Well, let's get your prediction first. We'll start with you. Since you seem to get it right and
yeah,
time, so I'll try and copy you.
I thought you asked me what second, third and fourth was, because I got that right. I didn't put Wafer in my top 3, but we'll forget about that. I don't know. It's tough to call. I kind of want to see... I just don't know. I honestly can't tell you. There's a lot of drivers that I'm just a bit like... I feel like they might pull one out of the bag tonight. Like it's just one of those tracks as well where as long as you show up and you're in like really close, this battling can go the whole way through the race. And we know that penalties will play here. There's a lot of exceeding track limits that can happen at this track.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's going to stay fairly the same for some reason. I think Wafer might drop behind Schmidt, but I think most of that top 6 will all be the top 6 for the end, barring any collisions or anything. But yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Obviously, a lot of these drivers are really close in pace, and around the Red Bull ring, because there's a lot of straights and then it's just really tight corners, it's very easy to keep within the car or keep the car close to another car in front of you. So there's normally means that that's good overtaking opportunities around the circuit. We're waiting for the light sequence to begin now for the Austrian Grand Prix feature race. 5 red lights for the drivers And we are underway, as you can see. Gaming Wafer gets a really good start off the line there. Pure Gold trying to jump alongside. Jay Schmidt heading into turn 1. They're going to run side by side. Who's deep runner? Breaks it down the inside. Goes Schmidt. And he makes contact there with the ART driver. And he's off spinning behind. And now it looks like Wafer leads. Heading down the second straight. Pure Gold in position 2. Crossy's now jumped himself up onto the top 3. He's trying to go around the outside, as you can see, heading into the hairpin. Pure Gold doesn't leave him much space at all. And down the inside goes Spilly. Sorry, the Virtuosi driver, kicked by Kiwi, heading into the hairpin on Spilly. Wasn't able to get the job done. Toes Rudy in P6 now trying to make a move for Carlin. Then it is Plebs and Dr. Dre, the two primers. Any moves happening up here, as you can see. Kicked by Kiwi defending the inside line, but unfortunately for Schmidt, ran a little bit too deep into turn 1 and unfortunately spun his car around, hitting the side pod of Gaming Wafer.
Yeah, definitely looked like he didn't give him much room there, Wafer, into turn 1. We'll see what happens in terms of whether Smith thought it was unfair and vice versa. James Cruz up to 10th here from 17th. What a start from the man.
He's done a really good job.
Yeah, no one else up more than 3 positions, so he's really picking them off here. This might be a good race for James.
So the two BWT Arden cars are going side by side as they head into the final corner. And look at that, Bodhod and James Cruz now battling it out. James runs really wide through the final corner. Fortune just got pushed up on the curve. They tried to run side by side. Now they're going to go 3 wide heading up into turn 1. Looks like the Arden driver's going to try and stick his nose there. He does go down the inside, but he's not close enough. He was more defending from James Cruz, and James got the under and over there, I think. Bodhod ran really wide, so now James back down in position 12. Will he be able to get a run here on Acerial or Bodhod? Will he make it 3 wide here? Bodhod had a really poor run on the exit of turn 1. Bodhod really deep on a brakes. James turns in a little bit early, and he's going to get the under and over on both of them, maybe. No, he continues on, so he's going to be behind both of them now by the looks of it. He is going to be in the slipstream there. He will be getting a double slipstream, actually, from both these drivers, so he could slip down the inside. Bodhod's really deep on the brakes. I don't think he's going to pull it up, and he's going to get a double move done now with James down the inside on both of them.
He's in the grass, but he still hangs onto it.
He does. He's now up in a position 10. Does Acerial make a move back? No, he doesn't. So James, double maneuver there heading into turn 3, up into position 10. I'll try and read out some predictions very soon, but Gaming Wafer leads the way ahead of Pure Gold and Cross. He's now up onto the podium. So just a little what my thoughts were with turn 1. Looked like Schmidt probably went for a move that wasn't going to happen. He was a little deep on the right. Yeah, a little bit late, to be honest. And I think Gaming Wave was already committed to the corner. And yeah, probably wasn't the smartest move to go for. He wasn't really alongside until he got to the apex. So I don't know what's going to happen there. It could be different. Not really sure. But look at this. Crossy is now coming under a lot of pressure from the Trident behind him. They're going to run side by side heading into turn 2. Go Spilly and Crossy. Crossy with the inside line, but does Spilly do the under and over? That's what he's trying to do. Wasn't able to do it though. You have to sit behind that Sauber driver for a little bit longer, but we'll try and read out a couple predictions now. Plevs has now made a move on Toes Rudy down the inside, heading through turn 2, and he's going to get the job done by the looks of it. Will his teammate Dr. Dre be able to do it as well? No, he's going to have to sit behind the Carlin driver for a little bit longer, but we'll try and read out some predictions. Bananas.
James Cruz with really dive. No, real nice under braking. He saved it there. He's definitely improved a lot. I can see it, even just in these opening laps. I know he sort of ran wide onto the grass, but even just following cars into corners and stuff and being able to manage his room, he's doing a much better job. So good stuff from James there. Hopefully he can pick up a point this race. Still doing a really good job there in 11th and real close to the point.
So we got the banana prediction coming out already. I'm not too sure. There's 2 bananas in the chat, but P1 he reckons will be Pure Gold. Jay Schmidt in position 2, and then Wafer P3. Then Racer X reckons first will be Schmidt, Pure Gold P2, and Crossy position 3. But I'll keep having a look. Racer X reckons BK will be P1, P2. Actually, no, BK will be P2, Pure Gold P3. So I'm not too sure. He's putting a couple of predictions. And look at that. Who's that gone? That's James Cruz, is it? No, Toes Rudy's made a mistake. Sorry, it was on stream, but I wasn't looking at the screen. So Jay, I'm not too sure what happened there. I'm not too sure if you caught it, but Toes Rudy has unfortunately made an error.
I wasn't bored with Dre, but I kind of missed it, to be honest. I know Dre had just gotten past him on that last lap. But yeah, unfortunately I missed whether there was contact.
Move for the lead there. Sorry, Pure Gold's now up into the lead of the feature race here for the Austrian Grand Prix. So he's made a move on the Gaming Wafer. He's reeled him in. Wave had a pretty good gap as well to the Dams driver behind him, but now obviously they have both swapped around. So Pure Gold now for Dams into the lead of the feature race for the race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Formula 2 Pacific Series is another yellow flag. The rear, I think that's just a local yellow, to be honest, so we'll continue on. They are about to start lap 5, so they'll be a quarter way through the race. 20 laps they will have here, so I believe that'll be 16 laps? 15, 16 laps for the sprint race. It's normally around 5 laps less, but yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah. There's a new prediction in the chat. Alex96 has said expert voice crack lap 11.
Lap 11, alright. Well, I've already had one in the intro. I had 5 seconds
but
of the stream.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. It wasn't lap 11.
It wasn't lap 11, so I just went talking lap 11.
That. Easy.
I just went talking lap 11. So Toes Rudy's now into the pit lane. He's going to have to change a front wing. And it looks like is he doing a front wing change, or is he just pitting early? No, he is doing a front wing change. So the Carlin driver into the pits now. I believe his teammate is James Cruz, who's made a little error there. Is James?
It's another set of softs.
James has just run really well. Is James in the... I'm not too sure. Is he a...
Yeah, he's in the other... is it Carlin?
Yeah, Carlin.
Yeah. It's the other Carlin, but it looks exactly like the Trident.
It does. There's a little blue and red stripes on it, but as you can see here, Schmidt, Bodhod and Breno are going at it. This is the battle of position 10. Obviously, the top 10 get points in. Down the inside, very late move there from Schmidt on Bodhod. Bodhod gets forced out wide there. He can't really hold it around the outside around this track, and he's now been pushed back down to position 12. Schmidt up into the top 11. His next little battle will be with Breno, and then also catching up. Well, both these drivers are catching up to AC Real in front, so let's see what these guys can do. Obviously, Schmidt went to dead last as well, so he's done a pretty good job already to get himself back up to P11 in however many laps, like 5-6 laps. So yeah, good job, or good little recovery drive so far from Schmidt. Obviously, there's still 14 laps remaining, so anything can happen, but we'll continue on.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, considering the accident, like he's not, he's within a pit stop of the lead, by a good chunk here. So anything can happen, and he's clearly got pace to catch back up. He's been able to push through traffic and not losing too much time to the leaders. I did miss what happened with BK though. Something obviously happened with him. He was running about somewhere in that top 10 at the start of the race, but I kind of missed what happened to him, whether he was involved in that first accident. But yeah, well...
Schmidt's made a move on AC Real as well. So he's actually made a move on Breno and AC Real in the same lap, I believe. So Schmidt now up into the top 9. And also needed to point out as well, Kickbot Kiwi's now lost the spot to Plev. So the Prema driver now up into the top 5. He will have Crossy F1 in front of him for Salva. So these two of Crossy and Spilly have been keeping the same sort of gap. James Cruz now the first driver to get a 5-second penalty here for the feature race, but Pure Gold now trying to edge his gap away from the gaming wave. I don't believe Pure Gold has a win this season. Actually, yes, he does. He won in France. That's right. He won in France on the last lap with Kickbutt Kiwi.
Here you go. Pit stops. Kickbutt Kiwi and Dre both into the pits here. I don't think it's too early. I think it's pretty much spot on, but
I'm not sure.
Okay, is this a 2-stop race?
I don't think so. I'm not too sure, but I'm not sure.
Just gone onto the softs again, from what I've seen, and so is Dre. I'm not sure what's happening. Whether they didn't have damage, there was no wing changes. But yeah,
if you're going onto the softs, then again, you're just gonna have to go onto the mediums towards the end of the race. So you'd probably go mediums, wouldn't you? I don't know.
So maybe they just feel that the hard compound, because they do have 3 compounds in this still. Hey.
Yes, they have the super soft and medium. Super soft, soft and hard.
That's right. They started on super softs, didn't they?
Oh, okay. So what tire did they go on to then?
I'll
bring it up. I should bring it up on stream. That's probably the smart thing to do.
Who am I watching now? Nah, it's all good. They've gone on to the softs. I keep looking at the tyres and seeing red when they come into the pits, but it's pink. Yeah. So don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. I want to shout out the Stone Tower though. He's up to 6 from 12th. Running a pretty good race here for MP. I believe it's MP Motorsport, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. They've struggled so far this season, but a good chunk of points on the cards here if he can keep this one clean and together. He's coming to the pits right now, so he's going to want to get out there. Should get out in a good kind of gap behind Dre, I believe.
So where's Dr. Dre at the moment? He's heading through into the penultimate corner now. Is the Prema driver, so I think it will be pretty tight between them though. Roscoe is in the pits as well, so is AC Real and Stone Towel. So Towel now leads the pit lane, so it's actually going to be pretty tight between him and Dr. Dre. Actually, I think Dr. Dre is going to be able to get it. He will get it pretty easily. Yes, that's an easy move there for Dre now up into position 11. Obviously, has made a pit stop. I'll swap this over to stops now so you can see who has made a pit stop. The first driver that has pitted for new tyres is Kickbutt Kiwi. So
Kiwi, yeah.
Have to see where he comes out compared to the others. Obviously, he will be on fresh softs at the moment when everyone else is on older softs, so he'll be pretty quick at the moment, but obviously everyone else in front of him will be going onto the softer and the fresher and even softer compounded tyres, so they will be a lot quicker to compared to himself. But Pure Gold now 6/10 of a second between himself and Wafer. Wafer's just holding on here with DRS. Pure Gold seems to have the pace on him at the moment. Crossy and Spilly are still the same gap as well. Plebs in P5 is slowly starting to catch up. BK now gets himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. So Campos has not had the best of starts of this weekend. XXJ Schmidt's now up into P6. Obviously, he did start on the soft, so he'll be going a little bit longer compared to others. So did Breno and Gold Gloves. There's now Gold Gloves into the pit lane, so to put on a new set of tyres. We'll have to see where Kickbutt comes out when all these drivers in front pit. It's going to be tight, but as you can see here, Wafer in the slipstream. He's not really close enough right now. Bothod's now making a move, is he? No, he's not. He's just overtaking the pits. Never mind. Sorry about that. So BK's actually gone down a lap now. So yeah, BK's...
Yeah, back into the pits here.
Yeah, he must have lost his front wing or something, but... Yeah, BK's having a pretty unfortunate race.
He's disconnected, but... Oh, no, he is just a lap down. I was going to say, I thought he disconnected, but it's because he's a lap down. So, Kickbutt is 31.6 off the lead at this point. I'm not too certain exactly how much you lose out here in the pit lane. I know in F1 it's about 16 seconds or something. But in F2, I'm not 100% certain. But he's having a good race. He's about the same pace as the leaders at the moment on the tyres, which, considering it's fresh ones, probably isn't that great. But still, yeah, I think he pitted from 6th. I think he was behind Plevs when he pitted. And yeah, so Jay Schmidt is on the exact same pace as what Pure Gold's running. Gaming Wafer's sticking right on the back of Pure Gold as well. So it'll be interesting. They should come in about lap 12, lap 13. Depends what kind of undercut or overcut you try and see here. I'm not too certain exactly what is the better call on this track. I'd say it's probably still the undercut with this one. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm probably lying if I tell you anything, because I have absolutely no idea on what strategy is around in F2, to be honest. But Schmidt also picked himself or earned himself a penalty at turn 1. So it was Gold Gloves. Not too sure if it was at turn 1 either, but Schmidt definitely did it at turn 1, so that's unfortunate for him. His race is going to be slightly hindered towards the end, or when the final results, everyone crosses the line. But we are at the halfway mark now for the feature race. Try and bring up the chat so I can see what you guys are saying. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining the stream as well.
Yeah, the front two only have one warning as well. Spilly down to, I believe, Breno. They all have 2, and Schmidt obviously has a 3rd. Kickbutt has no warnings at this point, so slowly pulling in on the leaders. So he will have a bit more track position compared to what he had earlier. And if he only if he only pitted just behind Plevs, then it should have only been like 5 seconds at the time when he pitted, or a little bit more than that. So I'd say he probably jumped Plevs. I don't think he jumped Crossy unless, it's another 2 laps. We'll see. But it'll be interesting to see how we go. Obviously, the tyre advantage is going to help pull those other guys back in, but different strategies here. For a few drivers, Kickbutt and Dre, and they're fighting for points in this one overall.
Yeah, so as you can see here, Wafer's actually caught up to the rear of Pure Gold now as they head into the final sector. I'm not too sure when they're supposed to be pitting. I think you said around lap 30. Probably around now, actually. Lap 12, lap 13.
Yeah.
We'll probably see them in.
Yeah. Well, Lunacy stretched his supers for 9 laps or something, so I think he pitted earlier and he's going back onto them. But yeah, so I think most of the guys came in sort of lap 7, lap 8 on those super softs, so I'd say they can probably do about 8 laps on them, so 12 wouldn't be too bad, but it's a matter of how they feel and how close they are to the car in front. Like, Wafer's probably going to want to make an undercut here, I reckon, so I'd say we might see him in at the end of this lap.
He's making a move now on Pure Gold here, as you can see, heading into turn 2. They're going to run alongside each other, and I think Pure Gold's going to get the better exit by the looks that he has. He's actually lost a lot there as Gaming Wave, so he didn't get a really good exit there on Pure Gold in front, so now into the, or he's holding on to the lead is Pure Gold, but will we see a potential undercut here from Gaming Wafer? He seems to have picked up a bit of pace here, coming towards the end of his first stint, so maybe...
I think we might see the opposite, to be honest.
Opposite?
I think Pure Gold might pit and Wafer might stay out. I think Wafer's doing a bit better on the tyres. Like, even though we saw Wafer lose a fair bit of time out of that corner, well, that might have been Sydney track limits, I'm not too certain. But he's pulled it back in already, like it's down to nearly 3/10 again. Doesn't look like either of them are coming in. Yeah, we saw Spilly's coming in, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, he is coming in. Yep. Crossy's staying out. So is Plevs, and Schmidt will be the next car up. So Spilly trying to do an undercut on both of, well, Crossy in front. What does Schmidt do? Schmidt stays out. So yeah, Spilly looks like he's coming. He's going to have to stay out another lap as well then, because Crossy's up in front of him by 15 seconds, and that's going to be too long. He's going to have to double stack if they both come in. So if I was Schmidt, I probably would have come in that lap, but yeah, I'm not sure.
You can't make all the calls.
Yeah, obviously, I honestly have no idea what the strategy is. So you don't know. He could be coming this lap, and all the others could be staying out for an extra lap. But as you can see here, Waif is still right on the rear of Pure Gold in front of him. The Dam driver ran a little bit wide. They're heading through turn 3, missed the apex ever so slightly.
So, sorry to butt in. Spilly has come out about 2.5 seconds, 2.7 seconds in front of Kickbutt. And they're definitely closing in. Spilly's made a really good choice here, I reckon. I think he might be right on Wafer and Pure Gold when they come in, like when they come out of pits. I think this undercut's going to work for him more than anyone, especially if these guys are battling, because that was real close. Wafer's into the pits here.
And so is Crossy.
And Crossy's followed.
Yeah, so Schmidt's going to have to stay out here.
Plevs stays out. Wafer's speeded in pit lane. He's got a 5-second penalty there.
So
unfortunately, that's going to...
I reckon Schmidt could have been alright to go in there. They had a pretty good gap. I don't think they would have...
You got to remember, though, it's longer in this, so it's... And, you know, the, like, turnover kind of period after when they start coming out of the pits, they just mess around for, like, 20 seconds and do nothing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. So, Pure Gold's in the lead of the Grand Prix now, so Wafer's trying to undercut.
Spilly's jumped Wafer.
Spilly has jumped Wafer, so as you can see here, that undercut from Spilly, he might, by the looks of it, he might even jump Pure Gold here, I reckon.
Definitely.
He's definitely going to do it,
yep.
So... Yeah.
And Kickbutt, oh, you made it past lap 11 as well.
I was thinking that. Is it lap 11?
I just wanted to check if it was lap 11 just then.
I did
Kickbutt's making a move on Crossy here, didn't make it stick, but if Kickbutt has come out behind Crossy, I think Crossy was in front of Plevs, hey, so Plevs is going to drop behind Kickbutt. The way things are going in, Kickbutt's kind of looking a bit feisty. Obviously on the softs compared to Crossy's super softs. So
Plevs actually been a little bit quicker here than Pure Gold and Wafer. He's actually caught up to the driver, the Dam driver
all
in front.
Into the pits.
Plevs has been pretty quick.
That's nice.
What will Spilly be able to do? He's coming through the final sector now. He's about to head into the
Schmidt has stayed out again as well. So even after a spin, Schmidt's decided he's going to stay out the whole time. Breno has also followed him there as well, so maybe Schmidt is just feeling, that was expected. And Spilly's jumped him easy. Pure Gold unfortunately has lost out big time here. He might even lose out to, how close is Crossy? They're a fair bit off, but obviously I think that was way too late. Like, you got to think about it. They're comfortably making like 7 or 8 laps on those super softs by the looks of it, from the first stints with some drivers. So for Pure Gold to only have to do 5 laps on these tyres now, or is it 5 or 6? I think it's 6 actually. It might. We never know. Obviously, Spilly and Wafer are going to be battling here. They're right on each other, so.
Yeah, so you can see here, Breno's also in position 2 at the moment. He's got Jay Schmidt in front of him, who has not made a pit stop, nor has Breno. So, yeah, Schmidt's staying out for very long in this Grand Prix. It's kind of interesting, but also another interesting point is that...
Oh, that's rain.
That's literally what I was just about to say. So,
there's the call from Schmidt and Breno.
You never know. It could start pouring down now, and Schmidt could go onto the inters, or the wet tyres, as they're called in F2.
We saw this last race in France. We
Oh,
saw
and
the
Wafer.
same thing happen.
Wafer making a move here on Spilly into turn 1 on the try and drive, and he's going to get it done, but Spilly's going to get a better run on the exit, and he's going to hold on to the position by the looks of it. Actually, no, they are side by side. They're banging wheels. They run up to turn 3.
As well.
Spilly's backed out of it here, so he's thought better of it. Gaming Wafer is going to be in position 3. He knows that there's not much point battling at the moment, but this could work in Breno and Schmidt's favour massively here. Obviously, they still do need to make a pit stop in this Grand Prix, go on to another compound, but yeah, they might be able to go onto the wets if it really starts to hammer down. Who's that going past? James Cruz.
Oh, that's James off. There's still like 5 laps left, like 4.5 laps left. Usually we see this rain sort of come with about 3 laps to go, kind of 2 laps when it starts, and you're like, oh, is it going to make it? But I think by the last 2 laps we might see a bit of difference in the track here. Oh yeah, there you go. I'm watching Wafer there, and he's just been completely sideways through that corner there. So this will be interesting to see here. I think at Schmidt and Breno's point, they have to take this gamble no matter what. You don't stay out this long and go on to. Although, so they'd be dropped to 9th and 10th or 9th and 11th, I believe, if they were to pit.
So can I just point out as well, Gaming Wafer and Spilly both just drove through James Cruz.
James.
Don't know what's going to happen there. James needs to get out of the way. He's done this a couple of times.
I don't think it's. I think since it's a lap car, it's not as bad as what we think, because you know these guys are battling. I know you're meant to avoid cars, but look at this. Pure Gold's right on the rear of these two now.
Yeah, well, they're battling a lot,
I just saw him. He got a really nice. Yeah, he got a really nice drive. Obviously, fresher tyres. That's a. Oh. Wafer just went for a lunge there. Bit unnecessary considering everything, but he's trying to put a car in between him and Spilly, obviously because of the penalty that Wafer's got. He's got that 5-second penalty still. And there's
Wafer spun him there.
Oh, good save from Breno. Good save.
Yeah, good save there from Breno, but Wafer left him no room there on the apex, so Wafer might be in a little bit of trouble. I'm not too sure. What did you think of it?
I think. Yeah, look, I'm not 100% certain. I think there wasn't too much room, but you just never know. Like,
so he went for the outside move. So Wafer, if any contact was ever made there or anyone ever spun, it was always going to be Wafer's fault because he went for the outside move. So now, as you can see,
I didn't know if there was any contact or not in between them.
100%.
Only thing is, because obviously there is rain as well, it's always risky to be driving side by side through a corner like that. So,
Pure Gold and Spilly going side by side now, heading into turn 3. They leave each other room, and Pure Gold's going to. Does he get it done? He does. So now up into position 3.
Spilly lost the rear coming out of that corner there, and obviously dropped back behind. Pure Gold's got effective lead at this point because of the Wafer penalty. And look at this. Schmidt and Wafer side by side. They're going to go into that same corner again side by side. This is feisty. Wafer's tyres have done 17 laps. Like,
Schmidt's.
Don't know what the ruling is on this. Yeah, sorry, Schmidt's tyres. I don't know what the ruling is on the wet weather and whether you have to. There's a spin in the sector 2, but nothing there. I can't see anything. I think it was just toes.
So you do need to make 2 pit stops unless you start. Unless it's a full wet race and you go on to the intermediates. Unless you start on the wet tyres, you do not need to make 2 stops. But yeah, he does.
He's come in, Breno's come in. So I'd say at this point they're better off going onto the wets. I haven't seen what the lap times have been recently or anything, but like I said, I think you got to take that gamble anyway, because there's potential to make up some moves, like positions, even though it's only like 2 laps. They're going to come out in 7th and 8th at this point. Although Breno's gone wet, Schmidt's gone super softs. Oh my god! Pure Gold, halfway down the back straight, just lost it. I watched that and he bloody saved it. I thought he was.
He's going to hit Spilly! He's turned him! Pure Gold's turned Spilly! Okay, we got a perfect view of that. I think he's going to let him go. So he kind of needs to, and Spilly's gone now. So he's got massively hot rear tyres. So Pure Gold just needs to go here.
Pure Gold is waiting. Look, he knows. Billy has just turned in on kick butt as well and blocked him into that corner, which was pretty stupid. It's obviously retaliation. He's just frustrated at this point. I actually missed the whole thing. I was too busy trying to save that clip. But Crossy's on for the win now. Crossy's on for the win now, and Plevs is on for second. The way they're going.
Has Wafer got a penalty?
I don't know if. Yeah, Wafer's got a speeding in pit lane penalty,
so that's
5 seconds.
So they now start the final
is on
lap.
2 warnings, and Plevs is on 2 warnings as well. So this is close.
They need to stay on track
Very
here, dude. Both of them. And Plevs on wide. Plevs on wide. Oh, he just avoids getting a penalty there. You saw how slow he was going, heading through turn 1.
Half a second as well there. So I don't know if Wafer had lost time or if Plevs gained time there, but.
Wafer made a little error there as well, heading on the exit.
Billy and kick butt going side by side into turn 3. Oh, he switches to the outside there, kick butt. He's going to get a good drive out of this corner, I think. Oh, there's a bit of contact. This is...
Still going side by side as they head down the back straight. Kick butt Kiwi on the outside. Spilly's trying to hold it on the inside. Obviously his tyres are really hot at the moment because he's just spun round, but you can see the glowing braking disc there from Kick butt Kiwi.
Right.
So he's going to keep going. Spilly, DRS is now disabled. Obviously it's not too much of a problem as it is the last lap. He's nearly turned him there, his kick butt. Nearly did it again. Well, nearly Spilly spun round again.
This middle sector here.
But
everyone, the front 3 cleanly through. Plevs is on the verge of that P2. Second spot at the moment. Yeah.
He will get P2 at the moment, and Gaming Wafer now heads through the final corner for the feature race. He's going to win on track, but unfortunately, speeding in the pit lane has hurt him here, and he's now going to come home to position 2, and Crossy's going to win the feature race here for the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Formula Super Civic Series feature race. Players will come home P2, P3, or rounding out your podium will be Gaming Wafer.
Jesus.
Then it will be Pure Gold.
Hundreds.
Spilly in P5, P6, Kick Butt Kiwi, P7, Jay Schmidt. Then Dr. Dre will come home P8 for Pramer. Plevs has done a really good job here as well, I need to point out. He's gone up a lot of positions in this race. He's gone up four spots, so that's not bad from himself. Then it will be Breno in P9, and then AC Real in P10, who's heading through the penultimate corner now, still waiting for Breno as well, who did go on the wets, but unfortunately wasn't able to make that strategy work. Stone Tower will come home position 11 in front of his teammate VSR Oscar, who's up to 4 spots as well. So Gold Gloves will come home P13 as he heads to the final corner.
He did, yes, he got it. I was just going to say, sorry, Stone Tower was in the points coming into that last lap, and something obviously happened between him and AC Reale, and he dropped back to 11th, but a penalty there for AC Reale for something. I think it was speeding in pit lane as well, and that's moved Stone Tower up into 10th spot. Let's just point out as well, obviously reverse grid for the next race. Schmidt on the front row for that. A good recovery drive from him there after what happened early on. And he will be alongside Dr. Dre. So, I think I was pretty much right, apart from obviously what happened with Schmidt. But I said that top 6 would kind of stay the same the whole way, apart from Schmidt, obviously, barring any crashes. And I think... I was going to say, I think the top 8, actually no, because Rudy, where'd Rudy start?
No idea.
Might have been 9th. I think he started 9th. So, nearly the top 8 were the same as what they were on the grid, just switched around a little bit. But yeah, obviously, good race there. Yeah,
congratulations to our top 3 podium getters there for Sauber, ART, and Primo of Plebs. Gaming Wafer and Crossy. Crossy, I believe this is his first win of the season. I think so. I don't recall him getting.
Yes, he's got a lot of seconds, I believe.
Yep.
Obviously in Monaco and somewhere else, I think.
Yeah, so he'll be happy with that. As congratulations to them on the podium. We've read out the provisional results, so we'll be back with you shortly for the sprint race. Let us know some predictions in the chat, and we'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned. Right, so as you can see, the drivers are now heading out for their formation lap for the sprint race here. Let's quickly go through your order, as obviously the top 8 were reversed from the feature race just before. So Dr. Dre 3000 will start on pole position this afternoon. He's looking really good here to potentially take his first podium of the season. Jay Schmidt will be in position 2, who's definitely going to be one of the favourites to win this race here this afternoon. Obviously very quick, but unfortunately got tangled up with the gaming way for a turn 1, lap 1 of the feature race, so he was pushed down to last, but managed to get himself up into P7, so it was a really good recovery drive for him. Kickbutt Kiwi in position 3 for the Virtuosi team. Obviously his teammate is not here this afternoon, so he is the only one getting points. He'll be needing to get some good points here for themselves. Toddy is obviously absent from us. He had a really good battle with Pure Gold, who is 2 positions behind him for the lead, or the win actually, at the French Grand Prix, but unfortunately the Dams driver came off best in that instance. P4 will be Spilly for Trident, P5 Pure Gold, P6 will be the Gaming Wafer, P7 will be Plebs, who finished P2 in that previous race. Then rounding out your top 8 will be Crossy F1. We need to remember as well, the top 8 are the only ones that get points here in the sprint race. 14 laps they will have to battle it out for the win here, or the final race here this weekend for the race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Formula 2 Pacific Series. Brenner will be P9, and then Stone Tail in position 10. AC Real in P11, then VSR Rosquam, P12 for MP Motorsport. Toes Rudy in 13th, Gold Gloves, Bodhod, to Lunacy, James Cruz, and BKXI rounds out your grid here for the sprint race. What are your predictions here this afternoon, CurvingTexas? Who do you reckon is going to win? Or your podium, I should say.
I think Schmidt's probably going to win this one, but I'm just going to put this out. We've got 5 drivers starting on Super Softs here. Kickbutt Kiwi, Spilly, Gaming Wafer, Crossy, and Bodhod, all on the Super Softs. So they're going to stop and go, I think they're going to try and go Super Softs again for the second stint. Obviously not mandatory pit stop, so they're allowed to have the same tyres twice. So I don't know, it's going to be another shout. Might be supposed to rain.
Well, wait, as you can
I
see,
think you might be right.
Yeah, it could be. But the light sequence has now begun for the Grand Prix, and we are underway. Pretty quick start there, but the Prima driver, Dr. Drake, gets a really good launch. He's now going to lead into turn 1. Will Schmidt do the same thing as what he did last race? He did. Down the inside. Oh, he just thought about it. He ended up backing out. He was smarter there than what he was last race. Kickbutt Kiwi slotted into P3. He's now actually going to draw alongside him is Schmidt, heading down on the run to turn 2. I don't think Dr. Dre's going to put up too much of a fight here. It's probably the smartest thing to do for the Prima driver. He's going to hold it around the outside, though. Will Kickbutt stick his nose down there? He does, so I don't think that was a smart thing there for Dre to do. He should have tried to hold it around the outside, though. Obviously, shouldn't really be trying to let drivers through this early in this Grand Prix, because this is what's going to happen. You're going to get freight train from the cars behind you. Is now Kickbutt Kiwi down the inside on Dr. Dre, and Will Spilly fell on 3 wide, as you can see.
Just taken out Pure Gold.
Wafer's taken out Pure Gold. Okay, that's unfortunate.
Into the braking zone, ran the outside, and kind of turned in. A little bit late braking, clipped the front wheel. But yeah, so those 2 super soft drivers, Kickbutt Kiwi and Spilly, up to 2nd and 3rd here, and they're going to want to jump Schmidt and just run away as quick as possible, especially if there is rain on the course here.
Yeah, so Kickbutt and Spilly obviously are on the super soft compounded tyres. You can see on the pole or the leaderboard on the left hand side of your screen. So Dr. Dre's gone from 1st to P4 in a lap's time, but obviously 2 drivers in front of him are on the super soft, so they're all going to be trying to run away with it now. As you can see, Spilly and Kickbutt are going side by side. Spilly trying to go around the outside of the Virtuosi driver, heading into turn 1. Not able to do it though, but he will have the slipstream. No DRS available, obviously, as it is not lap 3. Will he go to the outside line? That's probably what he's going to do. To the outside now for turn 2. Who's going to be deeper under brakes? Kickbutt's very deep under brakes, and I think Spilly might be able to do the under and over. He got a little tap there actually from Dr. Dre, so that might hurt him a little bit, but he's still got a pretty good momentum though as they head down the 3rd DRS straight on this racetrack. Heading into turn 3, they now head braking just off the 100 meter board. He's got an overlap, but he's not really far enough up, but he is now. He forced Kickbutt Kiwi into a little error there, and now Spilly up into the top 2. He will now have his eyes on Jay Schmidt. There's a yellow flag. Oh, jeez, there you go. There's the voice crack. James Cruz. Bodhod is gone round, and he's still not facing the right way. So Bodhod, unfortunately, is now at the rear of the grid. So it's unfortunate for him. He now will have to try and catch up to the rear of the pack. But need to point out there was 5 drivers that ended up starting on the Super Softs. Bodhod was one of them. Crossy, Wafer, Kickbutt, and Spilly, as you all pointed out at the start. BK's already up into position 14. He's now trying to get him moved on AC Real.
That's rain already. There's rain already.
I haven't got it on my screen.
I just saw it through the last corner there.
Yes, I do now see it. So there is rain already. DRS is now enabled, but for how long is another question. So this could really work in the Spilly and Kickbutt's hands. Obviously, they will have the softer tyres, but they will obviously fall off a lot earlier. So I have to see how long they can push those for. They will need to be obviously trying to push, but obviously they need to try and save them a bit if they're going to want to stay out.
Close there.
Crossy now, he nearly hit the rear of Plebs heading into the braking zone, but as you can see, all these drivers are starting to converge from position 2 all the way down to P9 of Pure Gold, and now both the Dams drivers are going to run alongside each other as they head into turn 3. Will Breno fight it? He does not actually. He's going to let his teammate go here, I believe. Actually, no, Breno is trying to fight it. As you can see, he's going to draw alongside his teammate, but Pure Gold gets a better traction off of turn 3 and now back up into position 8. Obviously, he'll be trying to hunt down Gaming Wafer in front, who they did just make contact with. Plebs is right behind the ART driver as well, so he's going to try to make a move here potentially on the ART. He's currently in a sandwich at the moment, is Gaming Wafer of the two Pramers. Dr. Dre's obviously in position 4 at the moment. He's slightly holding up this pack behind him. He's run a little bit wide there as Dre. That's going to hurt him. But they now head through the final corner. That could potentially be a warning there for the ART driver. Sorry, not the ART, the Pram driver.
Yeah, and Schmidt is still slightly pulling away on Spilly and Kickbutt here. So even with the tyre advantage, it's not really working out for him. And as we said, like the longer this rain goes on without it actually going to a wet, like full wet track, it's only going to hurt them. Obviously, the tyre temps will be a bit higher here. There'll be a lot more locking up.
So Plebs thought about making a move there. Whoa, he's now got Crossy on his outside, so I don't think he really realised that the Sauber driver was there. Now Pure Gold's going to get a move done, and will he make a move on Plebs here? Plebs shuts the door, heading down the straight. So Pure Gold now into position 7, making a move there on the the Sauber of Crossy. Now Crossy's going to try and get a double move here as well. Does Pure Gold get good traction on Plebs? He's going to go to the inside line. Plebs defends it. No, Crossy's trying to stick his nose there. He's gone for a move that was not really there, did Crossy. And unfortunately, that's... Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think there'll be a racing incident. Crossy tried to go for a move that was... or a gap that wasn't really there. So he's now dropped down to P12. Has Crossy. This hasn't worked in his favour whatsoever. Pure Gold did move a little...
had to back off again. Try to go around the outside of Plebs there, and Plebs kind of shut the door again. So we've seen that twice on this lap now. Yeah, so group's slowly starting to break apart a little bit into pairs of 2. So it'd be interesting to see here. Obviously, Crossy has lost out a bit. He's down to 11th. But with the rain coming, it's all to play for still.
So interesting as well, Schmidt's not really losing any time to Spilly and Kickbutt, but now as you can see, Wafer to the outside line on Dr. Dre. Dre's still trying to fight it back though. Down the inside, does he push him wide? He leaves him room. Gaming Wafer doesn't get the traction off the corner. He gives Dre a little tap though, which I think lost the rear, made Dre lose a rear end. He's going to have a slipstream here though, is Wafer to the outside line as they head into turn 3. Who's deeper under brakes? Dre. They both lock up the inside front. Does he push him wide though? You can't really hold it around the outside there. You've got to be expected to be pushed wide. This is only going to help Dre's teammate though. So Wafer trying to stick his nose down the inside, but this is only helping Plebs. Now Dre's made a little error there. Will Wafer get his nose down the inside? He's not really far enough up there, so he was forced to back out of it, but Plebs is going to take any advantage whatsoever. Dre's made another little error, and he's nearly spun. He's gone. It's Dr. Dre. No, he hasn't. He's spun round off into the wall. He'll not be happy. He'll not be happy with that. His front wing's all gone now, so I think we'll be seeing a wet pit stop here for Dr. Dre. We'll see how he goes, I guess, with the wet conditions. That's all he can really hope for, but yeah, just under halfway through this race now. As you can see, Schmidt still leads way. He's actually pulling a gap now to Spilly and Kickbutt, so that's very interesting. Considering the tyres
off the back as well.
Just considering the tyres,
he's falling into the clutches. Yeah, that's it. And Kickbutt is falling back into the clutches. Although Gaming Wafer's gone really wide at turn 1 there. He's lost out to both Plebs and Pure Gold.
And look who's in front of him now. Pure Gold is actually now making a move on Plebs by the looks of it. Oh, he thought better for it. Plebs was really deep on the brakes there. He actually runs a little bit wide there.
And Wafer's been turned by Breno as well.
Wafer's gone, so a little bit of payback. I wouldn't be surprised there. Obviously, Breno is the teammate of Pure Gold. But yeah, that's interesting. VSR
Mahavir Raghunathan up into the points here.
Is now trying to make a move on Gaming Wafer. Wafer very deep under brakes, and Raghunathan's getting the under and over. Now up into position 7 goes the MP Motorsports driver.
He's up 5 spots.
He is at 5
I just
spots.
want to say, both the MP Motorsports cars doing really well. 7th and 9th here. Obviously 9th isn't points for this race, but both on the verge of points and in a good battle here. BK as well, up 8 spots from the back of the grid. He's up to 10th and definitely got a good chance here at some points, which he definitely needs. I think he's only sitting on about 9 points for the whole season so far. There's a pit stop here for Wafer. Obviously might have a bit of damage. I'll just double check.
I'm not sure, but Schmidt leads the way at the moment. He's still edging his gap from Spilly. It's out to 4.3 now. As you can see, there was a move there.
Crossy's in as well.
The
and
kickback
Wafer sped in
Kiwi.
the pit lane again.
Oh, God. Okay. Kickback Kiwi
Poor
has now
bugger.
also made a move on Pure Gold. So now up into position 4 goes the Virtuosi drive. Actually, no, I think Pure Gold was trying to make a move on Kickback Kiwi because Plebs is now up into the top 3. Does he make contact? He does! Plebs and Kickback Kiwi made contact. Kickback was way too deep under brakes. Sorry, went back there accidentally. Kickback Kiwi is now going to have a very bad run. A very bad run there, and I think he's going to let Pure Gold go by here. I'm not too
Still
sure.
DRS as well at this point,
Oh, I
even with
think-
this rain, so...
So Spilly's run really wide. He's actually falling into the hands now of Plebs and Pure Gold. So Plebs and Pure Gold are going to be on for really good points. They're going to be on for really good points here this afternoon. Obviously, those super softs will be dying.
Plebs
So
Crossy's already come into the pits, and he won that first race, so Plebs is definitely on for round victory if he can keep it safe here. With obviously Wafer having a spin and Crossy also having a spin there. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see here what these wet tyres can do at this point. They look like they're losing out.
And kick butt. So they know they've gone onto the wrong tyres now. So the Virtuosi and
the wets.
they do have to make a jump to the wet. So we'll have to see if they're able to catch up. Spilly, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Kick butt was really slow into the pits, so they did the complete opposite. Sector 2 now, yellow flag. That is for the gaming Wafer. Actually, no, it's his teammate. Actually, it's Crossy. So Crossy made a little error there. I think he spun around very late down the straight or heading into the corner. So that's interesting. Not too interesting.
He is on those wets, so maybe just can't get him up to temperature here. Obviously, still, as we've seen, DRS is still open, and that's always a good indicator at what point you should be coming into the pits.
Schmidt just made a little mistake there as well, heading into turn 2. So BK's up in a position 6. He started from the rear of the grid.
5th as well.
So Roscoe and BK had a really good start to this race. Let's have a quick look at how many positions they're up. Roscoe's up 7 and BK's up 12.
Up a lot as well.
Who?
Gold Glove's up 6.
Gold Glove's up 6.
He's up from 14, so not too bad from him as well. Obviously, after we saw a little bit of not the best start to the weekend with that disqualification in qualifying for him, and also I think Pure Gold.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
Yep.
I thought he was gone then. I was watching Plebs and he just disappeared in the background nearly. But good save there. So, yes. At what point do you pit for these? Either way, you don't have to pit in this. So, if you think you can go to the end on these softs, you don't have to do anything. So this will be very interesting. It's gonna. I think Schmidt's at the point where, and Gold Gloves and Toes Rudy. So. And AC Rally, so maybe they feel like it's ready. Plebs have pulled in half a second on Schmidt here, but they've got to watch coming into this pit lane as well. We've seen 2 drivers so far this race get that speeding in pit lane penalty. I think Spilly got one and Wafer. What was the other thing I was going to point out?
It's definitely way too wet now for dries. 100% wet tyres now.
Schmidt's thing is he's got that 4.7 gap, so as long as he keeps it clean, he can sort of decide when he wants to come in.
I don't know if Schmidt should pit. I reckon Schmidt should just stay out.
I don't think he should pit. He's got a big enough gap to the point where
he'll be right.
If he doesn't choose, like obviously, yellow in sector 2. That is, I think, to Lunacy by the looks of it. So maybe I think it might nearly be time for wets. Although I haven't seen the DRS thing disappear. Pure Gold's into the pits here. Schmidt is in the pits. So Plebs, and there you go. I told you, Schmidt speeding in pit lane.
There you go. There's
and that's that 5-second gap gone.
So this could be Plebs' first win here this afternoon. Pure Gold stays out. So he comes in the pits as well. So I think that's smart from Plebs.
Stays out.
There's no need to pit. You're not going to lose anything. You're not going to lose. Yeah. You're not going to gain it back though going onto the wet. So Roscoe
Well,
arm could be on for a
especially if they're
potential
not ready
podium.
just yet.
DRS is disabled, but I don't think there's any points to it. I'd just stay out on the dryers.
Oh, no, Plev's big lock up into turn 2 there. It made the corner really well, but still, I think they're losing it now.
See, let's have a look where Pure Gold is. Look, Pure Gold's not even into turn 1 yet, and he's nearly just binned it there. He's Pure Gold, so yeah,
Who's
I'm not
come
sure.
around the outside of him?
Oh, that's
Billy
Jimmy
and
James. Jimmy James now
Okay.
is making a move on Pure Gold. Yeah, no, I don't reckon I don't reckon Plev should pit. I reckon he's completely in right here because he can't do it now anyway. Sorry, he can't do it anymore now anyway because Pure Gold's going to get him because he's on the wet tyres. So there's no point in pitting now. There's literally no point in pitting.
They both got that 5-second penalty as well. So the person who is pitted, who is in the best position here, actually, Pure Gold doesn't have it. Oh, did he? Yeah, no. Wait, did Pure Gold get a spinny in pit lane? I don't think he did he?
No, I don't know. You'll be able to have a look at the race director.
Yeah, I was going to say Kickbutt is in a good position here for another podium if wets go the way of the wind, but Plevs are staying out. And I assume Breno's come into the pits there.
No,
and so has Roscoe Arm, so it's all on Plevs here.
No.
Jimmy James could get some good points here if he stays out as well.
Yeah, so Plevs is
James,
completely in the right here because let's have a look. Schmidt's the first wet runner. He's down heading across the start-finish line now. You can see he crosses it right now and Plevs is heading into turn 2. So yeah, VSR Roscoe Arm, yeah, not sure. I'm starting to hear myself as well again, curving. But yeah, Roscoe Arm and Breno, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think they should have pit. I think they should have stayed out. Would have been better for them, but Plevs is 100% right here. He needs to just stay out for the races. You're not going to lose anything. They're not going to be able to... Well, Schmidt's not going to catch 19 seconds, I don't believe, in that time. It'd just be faster.
Well, yeah.
And anyway, if he did pit, he was going to drop behind Pure Gold. So the smart thing to do there was to stay out, in my opinion, for Plevs. So really smart thinking. This could potentially get him his first win. He just also needs to make sure he stays within 5 seconds, or keeps a 5-second gap to Schmidt. Obviously, Schmidt will be catching him really quickly, but...
Oh, Jimmy James has just run into the back of Breno there. Still on with a chance at points here, Jimmy James. So hopefully he can keep this clean. I know he's losing out lots here, but he's still in 8th. He's just got to hold his nerve. He's got 3.5 laps to go. Just keep it clean. He's losing a little bit into the corners. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh.
I say Plevs has only lost about a second this lap to Schmidt. And VSR Roscoe led like 8 seconds to Jay Schmidt. So Roscoe definitely should not have pit 100%, nor Breno. They should not have pit that time. They should have just stayed out, to be honest.
The only thing is, obviously, it comes down to confidence as well. And obviously, Plevs, I'd say he's probably got a little bit more of that in terms of the F2 series compared to Roscoe Arm and Breno. We've seen some mistakes late in the... Yeah, well, that's it.
Plevs is the Season 1 champion. We never actually really talked about that, to be honest. He did win Season 1 of the F2 Sprint Series, it was called back then. But yeah, this could be his first win.
Yeah, at the moment, apart from Toddster, he's been the man in form as well. He's slowly brought this back. Bad first 2 rounds from him and the team, but this will jump him into a good result, obviously. It's going to jump him up into probably top 3 contention here in the championship. But also, another thing we've got to point out as well, obviously, even if Schmidt gets close, he's still got 5 seconds of penalties. Same with Spilly, 5 seconds of penalties. So this podium is... There's about a second between Kickbutt and Pure Gold for the actual podium with Spilly's penalty. So...
I'm going to be honest, it's going to be super tight between Schmidt and Plevs. Schmidt's actually really catching Plevs now because the track is just done, but Plevs needs to try and just drive as fast as he can right now. He can't do it though, he just can't put the gas down. He's pulled about 5 seconds that lap, did Schmidt, but obviously they are now starting the penultimate lap of the race. They all have 5-second penalties, which is good for Plevs because obviously if Schmidt didn't have one or Spilly didn't have one, he only needed to get within 5 seconds. So as you can see, Plevs now exiting turn 1, Schmidt heading up into turn 1. So I reckon Schmidt's going to be right on the rear, Plevs, by the end of, probably not this lap, by next lap.
I think maybe about
midway through next lap.
Turn 3 or down that back straight, it's going to be very close. But like we said, he's pulled in nearly 3 seconds since that last corner. Plevs is in a bit of trouble here.
He'll be right for Spilly, though, 100%.
He might even be alright with Schmidt. Depends on the penalty. If he can hold him up, so I reckon if Plevs doesn't let Schmidt past before turn 3 next lap, I think he'll be alright. Even if he gets past him down the back straight, I don't think he'll lose over 5 seconds in that middle sector. He might, but there's a crash in sector 1.
James is gone.
That is gold gloves.
And James. Oh, no,
and James, so yeah.
He's on soft still as James, so I think he was definitely potentially a reason for that incident. Not 100% sure, but yeah, I think I'm not sure now.
It's like 8 seconds at least now, so Schmidt looks like he could be comfortably on for this. Obviously, he'll be right on his ass going to turn 1 if last lap's times kind of...
Oh, he spun Plebs!
Oh.
Plebs is half spun there. Now, this could be unfortunate for him because if he just kept it on track there, he would have been alright to Spilly, but now I think he's going to lose out to Spilly here. He is going to lose out to Spilly and potentially Pure Gold as well. So Schmidt now takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Plebs will be in position 2, but we'll have Spilly right behind him
as well.
Yeah, so unfortunately for... Oh, he's gone off the track there, is Spilly. So he's not technically supposed to do that, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Plebs. If he didn't make that mistake, he would have been alright to Spilly, to be honest. But yeah... Now Schmidt takes the lead of the race, as I've said. Spilly P2, P3 will be Plebs, but he obviously has Pure Gold right behind. Kickback Kiwi might even get him as well.
Sector 2 and Sector 3, that's James again in the second sector, sorry.
That's all good. But yeah, so yeah, that's unfortunate for Plebs. He's now dropped behind Pure Gold, and now he will have Kickback Kiwi there. Gaming Wafer won't be close enough, though, I don't believe, and he's just let him go, I think. But actually, no, he hasn't let him go. I think he's just trying to keep it on track, to be honest, is Plebs. Gaming Wafer might be able to get him.
Wafer's also got a penalty as well, so which actually is going to play into the favour of Brenner and Roscoe.
Yeah.
Obviously, they did pit, and at this point, it's the right decision. They would have lost out big time if they hadn't. So, unfortunate for BK, he's not going to get any points after starting from the back and coming up to 9th spot, unless there is penalties that I don't know about.
Pure God's had an incident. Plebs has got packed past him, and Wafer's going to get past him. I'm not too sure what's happened there to him, but Schmidt comes across the line and wins the sprint race for the PS4 Formula 2 Pacific Series. Spilly will come home P2. P3 will be Kickbutt Kiwi, I believe.
Kickbutt shouldn't have done that. If he hadn't weaved down the straight, he might have actually got Spilly for second there. Plebs is just... Oh, he's got a puncture, I think. Something's going on with that car.
P4 will be Pure Gold, actually, so he'll hold on to P4 there. P5 Breno, Wafer, VSR Oscar and Plebs will be P8 there. Unfortunately for himself, his race just went shit at the end there. BK will be P9, and then rounding out your top 10 will be Stone Towel. Now, obviously, only the top 8 get points, so Roscoe will take home some good points as well for Team Ragunathan. P10 will be Stone Tower, 11 Toes Rudy, Crossy. AC Real will come home P13, then it will be Gold Gloves will come home P14. P15 will be AC Real's teammate to Lunacy and for Arden. Bodhod is drifting the final corner and he's completely lost. The Dr. Dre will get the move actually up into P16 now. So Boot Hood will come home P17, then Jimmy James. Bob Hod. James Cruz still trying to keep it on track. Surely he gives us a little drift for this final chicane. Come on, James.
Go, James.
Floor it, mate. Floor it. I think he's got traction on. He's got traction, I think. you just
drift it, James.
Go. Oh, he's going. Save it. No, you gotta save it.
It's still a drift. That's style points. He's corrected it. Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, he kept it facing the right way.
Well, look at this. Look at this.
Oh, Banana, we need you. How many style points you reckon, Banana? Oh, when he comes across the line, 720. So how many points is that, Banana, for style points?
Mate, that's driver of the day. Right
yeah, 100%. Jimmy James. We need your prediction, Banana. Let us know what you reckon. How many style points does Jimmy James deserve? But yeah, congratulations to our podium. Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, before we get into what the actual results across the whole weekend were, this is going to be super tight. I think mainly because of qualifying, I think Wafer's actually going to take it. It was all over the place, to be honest, between all of them, so...
It's going to be tight.
I honestly can't pick it. It's going to be very tight.
Alright, so hurry up, Banana. I'm still waiting for you, mate. But yeah, congratulations to our top 3 podium getters of Schmidt. Who was it? I'm trying to think. Spilly, and the other one was Kickbutt Kiwi. So congratulations to them. James gets all the points. Congratulations, Jimmy James. But let's have a quick look now at your weekend results. Crossy wins. Crossy ends up winning. They're on dead even points as Wafer, but Crossy just somehow did it. I'm not too sure how. That
wasn't even in that race.
I know.
Pretty much.
So Crossy wins. Game ref will be P2 for the weekend. Then it'll be XXJ Schmidt and P3 for Sauber. So that'll be really good for their constructors. Then it'll be the Trident driver of Spilly, P5 Pure Gold, Prema in P6 for Plebs, Kickbutt Kiwi in P7, and I think Virtuosi's going to drop a fair bit down in the constructors standings because obviously Toddy wasn't here tonight and no reserve driver. So Breno in P8, P9, Dr. Dre, and then rounding out your top 10. Taking home 2 points will be Roscoe Armand. Taking home the final point will be the other MP Motorsport driver of
Double MP.
Stone Tail. So Ragunathan and whatever the other person's name is, I don't know who they are, will be taking home 3 points. So solid points there for them. BK in position 12 for Campos. It was the first driver to not score points. So congratulations to them. So we got a few more things. Everyone black flag. James gets all the points. Bloody oath. I said he gets all the points Exprit. Yeah, I know you said that. That's what I said. But anyway, we'll move on. Thank you again, Curving.
Actually, not a problem. I was just going to point out, obviously, the weekend results there. So James Cruz takes home 100 and... I'm not sure, 100 and something points. So that moves him up into second. Easy in the championship.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd point that one out.
It's a little bit too quickly to start the music. But anyway, thank you guys for joining the stream. Thank you, Curving, as well, again, for joining me in the commentary box. My name is Exprit, and I will see you guys next time.
Ciao.